4 new football rules set to become active from the start of the 2019 to 2020 season. Free kicks, no attacking players in wall. From next season on, we are going to see an interesting change to the way free kicks are taken. The IFAB has approved a rule change which prohibits attacking players, i.e. those from the team on attacking from the free kick, from being in the wall. Specifically, when there is a wall of 3 or more players, attackers are not allowed within 1 meter of it. Any attacking player found to be less than 1 meter from the wall when a free kick is taken will be penalized, and the other team will be rewarded with an indirect free kick. The idea behind the change is to avoid time wasting and disturbances between players that may result in physical altercations. Substitutions. Players must leave pitch at nearest point. Players who are being taken off and replaced must now leave the pitch by the nearest point on the touchline, which means we will no longer be forced to endure preposterously slow walks to the halfway line. So players will have to think twice about how they exit the pitch, and, not only that, they must make their way straight to the technical area or dressing room, otherwise they risk being sanctioned for unsporting behavior. Yellow and red cards for coaches. Maurizio Sarri Chelsea yellow card in order to clamp down on difficult behavior from coaches who don't see eye to eye with the referee or their opposite number. Officials will be able to show them yellow or red cards, in the same way they do with players. If, in the event of a touchline melee for example, the offending individual cannot be identified for punishment, the senior coach who is in the technical area will be the default recipient. Penalty kicks. Goalkeepers must have at least 1 foot on line. Croatia-Denmark Penalty World Cup 2018. The issue of penalty kicks has cropped up a few times in recent years, and the trend has been towards reducing the freedom of the goalkeeper. That hasn't changed with the latest update to the rules, which dictate that the shot stopper must not be moving or touching the goalposts. The new rule changes also say that the goalkeeper must have at least part of 1 foot on or in line with the goal line, allowing the goalkeeper to have only 1 foot touching the goal line, or, if jumping, in line with the goal line. When the penalty kick is taken is a more practical approach, as it is easier to identify if both feet are not on the line. Goes the IFAB's explanation. As the kicker can stutter in the run, it is reasonable that the goalkeeper can take 1 step in anticipation of the kick, as well as those points. The penalty taker will now be permitted to receive a quick treatment if necessary before taking the kick. Handball. Accidental offenses deemed free kicks. Thomas Muller, Bayern Munich. Handball. The IFAB has attempted to provide more clarity on the handball offense for occasions when the offense is deemed to be non-deliberate. Essentially, the changes will mean that there will be no goal in cases where the ball accidentally strikes a player's hand before crossing over the line. Similarly, if a player has accidentally handled the ball and created an advantage or subsequently scores, they will be penalized with a free kick. Despite the IFAB's attempts, we reckon that this one will still cause plenty of debate and consternation. Drop ball no longer competitive. The dropped ball is no more. Well, at least not as we know it. If play is stopped inside the penalty area, the ball will simply be dropped for the goalkeeper. If it is stopped outside the penalty area, the ball will be dropped for a player from the team that last touched the ball. In all cases, players will have to be at least 4 meters, 4.5 yards, away. Here's the IFAB's explanation. The current dropped ball procedure often leads to a manufactured restart which is exploited unfairly, for example kicking the ball out for a throw-in deep in the opponent's half, or an aggressive confrontation. Returning the ball to the team that last played it restores what was lost when play was stopped, except in the penalty area where it is simpler to return the ball to the goalkeeper. To prevent that team gaining an unfair advantage, all players of both teams, except the player receiving the ball, must be at least 4 meters, 4.5 yards, away.